Alright guys, Agne here, and today we are going to take a first look at the new insect Rainbow Scarab and my thoughts on it. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so we're going to get right into it. We're going to be covering the new insect Rainbow Scarab. Before we get into that, got to get into the usual shenanigans. This video is sponsored by Aptoid. We're using my code AGNATE2023. You can get anywhere from 5 to 40% off all in-game purchases if you are Android. Follow the link that is on the screen right now and follow the description that will be down below to be able to take full advantage of this sponsor. Which is, in this case, if you're looking to pick up this beetle, is a very good way to basically drop your cost to right around $200 to be able to pick one up. Alrighty, so let's get into it. So first I'm going to go into the basics of the insect itself. I will be getting the insect. So we're going to go into the basics of it, what I think of it as a standalone, as well as the insect talent tree. And then I'm going to compare it to cici as far as different march and march use. So this one has a third skill that it now has, which is when there's a guardian squad in the formation, the resistance to normal count plus 10%. That's at 11. So as everybody knows, with normal attack equates into your skill damage. So essentially, you're negating out 10% of their skill attack just by having a guardian in your lineup. So obviously this favors a guardian shooter lineup. A very good stat, honestly. 10% is huge, especially when you start stacking it with other guardian ants that like the add a sextant or other ants that also negate out some of the damage. And then you have the skill. Every other round, a random squad on our side absorbs 15% attack from all squads and deals 500% damage to all squads on the enemy side. 10% of the damage converts into our squad power. And the squad power is not really all that important, but the absorbing 15% of the attack and then deals out 500 obviously puts into a line to be able to be a very good PvP insect. Now, speaking of PvP insect, when we go and look at the skills, you always look at kind of the bigger ones, which is like that one's like health, and then normal attack crit rate, counter effect, normal attack damage, plus damage taken, skill damage of all of our squads, their skill damage taken, and yeah, we already looked at that health. All the other ones are kind of basic ones that you usually do get, as you can see. All right, so then you get into the major skills, which vanquish foes buff effect. When the battle starts, randomly select one of our squads to receive the effect. Each time it becomes the target of a skill or normal attack, there is a 20% chance to inflict 12.5% damage on the attacker and cause them to enter exhausted status, reducing their damage dealt by 10% for one round. Now there's 8 levels to this, so that's going to be a compounding number. So that is a very strong stat to have. Then you have, during the battle, the defense of our squad in the front line, plus 2.5%, crit resistance plus 2%, 8 levels to that. So you're looking more accurately like 18% defense and then 16% crit resistance. And then this one, in the third round, removes the control status of all of our squads, increases the attack and defense of our squads by 2.5% for every 10% of our squad's health loss, lasting until the end of the battle. Another good one to have. And then during the battle has a 25% chance to increase normal attack damage and skill damage of all of our squads by 2% each round, non-stackable. So I imagine this is probably compounding, so it's actually going to be probably 16%. which when you're increasing normal attack damage and skill damage, then of course you're actually increasing the skill damage by 36%, making, or 32%, sorry, making that a pretty good, sizable increase. I don't know what the chance rate goes up, but still a good skill. And then if we look into the other one, pretty basic for all these. And then we have the main ones. In second, fourth, and sixth rounds, has a healing ratio of 5% to clear 2 of our random enemy squads, or random squads, and increase their defense by 2.5 for 1 round. Then this one is for each shooter squad in our troop, normal attack damage plus 0.9%. For each carrier squad in our troop, skill damage plus 0.9%. For each guardian squad in our troop, damage taken minus 0.6. And then on the first, third, and fifth rounds, additionally increase the first damage dealt by 2 random squads by 2%. Stacks probably 16%. All right, so my thoughts on this. Obviously, it is outstanding for a guardian shooter. I would say that even for a shooter, it still has some good basis, but you're going to be losing out on the base skill, which is right here with the resistance. But now the real question, is it better than cici? So I would honestly probably use this one as a helper to the cici, for the main reason being that when we go and look at cici and we go into the skills, and this is only if you're running shooter, not guardian shooter, because when I'm looking at an insect, I'm looking at what it's going to do for not only PvE but PvP. So the Rainbow Scarab is going to be better for a PvP basis, but as far as for your PvE scores and such, the cici is still going to be a little bit better, just because of the, like this one, skill damage 4%, increase the damage of random squad's first attack of each round by 32%. In the first 4 rounds, frontline has a 24% chance to dodge the damage dealt by the first attack. I mean, it all around, it's a good and to have. Now, if you're adding that skill from the new insect, which is the plunder effect, every other round absorbs 15% attack of all squads and deals 500% damage to all squads on the enemy side. So that, for me, would serve best as a helper rather than having it as a main insect, for that very fact of, when you go to apply for, like when you go to use this insect, it's really only going to be attributed for PvP. You're going to be losing out on a lot of the base stack damage that you would want for PvE. Now, I might be wrong. I'm going to be getting it, so I'll be doing some testing. So if I'm wrong about that, I'll definitely be giving a update. But on paper, that's the most logical explanation as far as this insect. Now, if you are just a straight PvP and you really don't care about like groundhog scores and pangolin scores and such, then it doesn't matter. I would think that would be probably the better insect to have in front. So anyway, these are my thoughts, guys, and hopefully it helped you all out. And Agnes out. We will see you in the next one.